Hey, welcome back to Customs here, another episode of customizing the Iron Grenadiers Rattler. This does start from a HasLab, from Hasbro directly, and I've been slowly customizing it into an Iron Grenadiers version of my own design. This wasn't something that Hasbro ever really did for the Rattler. I think there was a limited edition gold one or something somewhere, but it wasn't really Iron Grenadiers from my understanding. So I'm making this up as I go. This week, going to be doing some different engine detail. Here you can see I'm blacking in some of the surrounding areas that were silver that I left purposely unmasked during the initial painting process. And I'm going back now because I figured it would be easier to do these by hand than try to tape off every little thing. So here I'm doing a flat black, color those in real easily. No big deal. Just using a small brush so I can get into some small spaces. So sit back and enjoy this. I'll chime back in when something else happens. Now we're going to get into some details here. I use several different types of metallic gray, including gunmetal, silver, darker silver, some gold, anything I can do to bring some different level of detail into this. Even if the silvers are fairly close to each other, you'll see in the end it works out pretty well to just bring some depth to something that's already there. There's a lot of gray detail already in this from Hasbro directly, but it's always nice to add some extra layers, things that you may not even see right away, but in your mind it makes it just more realistic that there's more layers of different colors and small things that just make it more realistic. So sit back and relax, enjoy some music, and please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I appreciate everyone who watches this, and thank you very much. through October 31st, visit gicustoms.com and purchase $100 or more of modular defense add-ons and get a computer console for absolutely free. Just visit our site and check out our large selection of different add-ons for your modular defense system from Hasbro, such as walls, rails, and risers, and get a computer console for absolutely free. Go and visit today. And here we are back in the spray booth. Doing some flat black along the edges of the masking areas. This makes it a clean line. Once you start adding colors, put the same color as the whatever's underneath down. It kind of seals in the edges of the tape. It's something I've learned from painting walls and stuff in houses. Definitely works here as well, so I just go over it, give this plenty of time to dry before we go on to the next color. So I think the first color, I'm going to do this in several layers. First color here is going to be Ferrari Red. You'll see it goes on pretty light at first, and again, I do my best to do light coats. It maintains more of the detail and stuff as you go. So you'll see it goes on kind of orange, but takes several coats. Again, I start from one side, go to the other with acrylic. By the time you get back to the front, in this case, it's mostly dry, so doing another coat at that point is no big deal. So I'll touch back in when we switch colors. Now that we're wrapping up the Ferrari Red here, you can see that it mostly covered the black. It's going to be a nice base coat or primer coat on top of the black. Not necessarily the final color that I was looking for, a little more orange than I'd like, but again, covers up the black good, and with a couple other layers of things here, it's going to turn out really nice. So our next color up is a flat red. This one is not airbrush color, so needed to thin it out with some airbrush thinner, but goes on. It's a lot more ruby red than orange red like the Ferrari Red. So the final color ends up a lot cleaner, a lot nicer, a lot brighter. So we put this on before we go on to the next coat. Almost to the last color here, we are going with a violet red. So this is more of a purple, still got a little red in it, but mostly violet. I do this with a stencil. I'm going to add a little texture in there. You'll see it comes out as a nice little pattern. It's kind of cool, add some interest and some detail into the inside of the red paint. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you think I could do better, what you learned from this one. Maybe you learned something new this time that you didn't know before doing your own. Right now I am adding some of the violet red around the edges, kind of give it some depth again. Makes the edges kind of curve a little more, just a little more visual interest. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll be back in a little bit. Now it's time for everyone's favorite part. It is time to remove that masking tape. Boy, taking off this masking tape is always so nerve-wracking. Always afraid it's going to peel off some of the bottom layer or something like that and have to go back and fix it, which isn't a huge deal outside of I just don't want to have to do that. I think what I attribute a lot of the success on this for any project, but this one in particular, why I didn't remove any tape or any paint, is because of the multi-layers of black that I put down initially, the time taken to put multiple layers of the flat clear coat on there, that if any little piece is coming off, it's going to be the flat clear coat, one of those layers, not the black underneath. So in your next project, trying to get a nice crisp line, remember both things. So making sure you do a quick coat of the undercolor before you go on to the main stripe color after you mask, and then also make sure you get that clear coat up front, do the prep work, and everything else will turn out much better. Now it's time to take care of some of those overspray areas. I knew this from the beginning. This was going to have to happen. In my head, it was going to take less time and be easier to go back and touch these places up than it would be to tape some of it off. So now it's time to do that. Go back on some of this stuff around the cockpits and stuff now that they're untaped, and make them flat black again. I'll probably also at some point be going in these areas and highlighting those little wires and different things in there to make it a little more detailed. But this, and then a little bit more detail on the wings, and we are done with this week's episode. here we go, some detail on some of the black parts. I think I spoke briefly about some of this, or the idea of what I'm doing here in the Law and Order episode. What I like to do is put some different colors within solid panels. So this wing, or most of the other parts of the airplane, there's a lot of flat black. If there's not going to be, even if there's going to be a stripe or something here eventually, I like adding some different colors in, some layers. Makes it look a little more realistic, give it some more depth. Like I said in the Law and Order episode, in real life, look at a lot of these things, the exact color usually isn't always the same. So there's little slight variations here and there. Here I'm using a real dark gray. It actually comes out a little lighter on camera here, but as it dries, it'll get real dark gray, and there'll be a difference between it and the black, not very much. So I do this in some different spots on the wings here. Off camera, I did it on a few other areas as well that I'll show later. But that's why I'm doing some little spots here, something that definitely adds some detail and depth and character to any project.